And welcome everyone to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports for today's match between Scotland and Georgia. My name is Wes, and I'll be taking you through the action. Just coming off a historic game between Fiji and England, the Fijians, the Flying Fijians, victorious for the first time in their history against the English. Never mind that historic win happening at Twickenham. So a fantastic day for the nation of Fiji. I heard the commentators saying that about 50% of the population was tuning in, watching that game. It must be absolute scenes on that little island. So congratulations to the Fijians. For the English, well, there were signs of life and hope. I think in the first half, people would have been encouraged. I think there were moments where they showed resilience. However, just simply not good enough. They've got the players there. There just something isn't clicking, which is quite unfortunate for the English. But hopefully they can start to turn around in the next week, 2 weeks for their first pool game against the Argentinians, who will no doubt also be a formidable force in the World Cup pool games. But enough of that. We move on to Georgia and Scotland. So as a South African supporter, this is definitely a game we're going to be keeping a close watch on. Having a look at our first pool game, the Scots, who are in very good form, but the same can be said about the Georgians. So if we have a look here and look at some stats before we kick off in about 10 minutes time before the stream goes live, we're having a look here in the last 3 head-to-head meetings between these two teams, between Scotland and Georgia. Scotland have come away with all 3 wins. So quite a dominant record there in the last 3 games by quite big point margins as well. Having a look in 2020 was the last time these two sides played against each other, the 23rd of October. Scotland were victorious 48 points to 7. So quite a commanding performance. Before that, in 2019, 36 points to 9 to the Scots again. And then 2016, 43 points to 16. So really quite a commanding, not stranglehold, but record the Scots have over the Georgians. But I don't really like those stats because it's who shows up on the day, the team that shows up on the day, the bounce of the ball. Having a look, though, at the Georgian side, the last 5 games they've played, they've won 3 of the last 5, and importantly, the most recent 3. So if we go back in time, let's have a look. Let me make sure I'm reading this correctly. Yeah, looks like I am. What we've got here is the Georgians beating Italy, then Uruguay, and then actually Wales in a tightly fought contest, 12 points to 13. So the Georgians will fancy themselves. They'll reckon they're in good form. Quite a nice, amount of scoring also happening on the Georgian side. 28 points to 19 over the Italians. So 28 is a decent number of points being scored. 34 points against Uruguay, and then a tightly contested game, 13 to 12. Well, the Scots, we know they're in good form, narrowly losing to a very good French side, 30 points to 27 there. And then obviously beating the French the week before, 25 to 21. Both, good victories over the Italians. And then I think their last game, big loss, was against Ireland, 22 points to 7. So, we know the Scots are really looking in fine form. So it'll be interesting to see between these two sides what can happen. Having a look at some polls, which we're going to ask the guys to throw up in the conversation there, in the chat there. Who do you think is going to win? Some polls online, Scotland, 89% to win, 11% to the Georgians. I wonder if that will change at all. But before we go any further, guys, please can I ask you to smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support us even further, become a member of Forever Sports. By becoming a member, it allows us to give you even more coverage, not just rugby, greater rugby coverage, but other sports as well from all across the globe. So please make sure if you aren't already a member, have a look, see if you can support us that way. We've got about 6 minutes before we get to kickoff. For those of you who aren't familiar with me or my situation, as I said, my name's Wes. I'll be with you today for today's watch-along between Scotland and Georgia, currently based up in Botswana, actually, just on the edge of the Okavango Delta. So that being said, we do appreciate if there are any potential Wi-Fi issues. Hopefully not. We've done all the checking and whatnot, but really appreciate it if you're a bit forgiving on there. With that being said, guys, in the chat, let me know where you're coming in from. Where are you tuning in from? Have we got some people up in Scotland watching? Have we got any Georgians watching? That would be fantastic to start to get to hear from you guys. If you're in neutral, let me know. Yeah, where are you tuning in from? It'd be fantastic to see. In addition to that, I'm sure there's a poll up and running at the moment. Please let me know, who do you think is going to come away with today's victory, and what are you most excited to see? As I said, from a South African supporter standpoint, definitely going to be watching the Scots. What can they bring? They'll look to give this, a really good run out before the big clash against the Boks, who, can we just I won't go on about it too much, because my goodness, my YouTube timeline is absolutely inundated with Bok versus New Zealand reactions and analysis and what. And we've got excellent analysis here on Forever Sports. So if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. But a statement result at Twickenham last night against the All Blacks. I can't remember in my lifetime having seen the All Blacks dominated by any team like that, just physically and tactically, outmaneuvered. So fantastic performance by the Boks. I think, South Africans will breathe a big sigh of relief that we can see, that we've got that in the back pocket. I on the fan forum on Thursdays, we do a fan forum on Thursdays. If you guys haven't seen, I did ask, all South African fans not to do the classic South African thing, which is overreact and read too much into results. Potentially, I think a lot of what's going on at the moment is that. But no, don't get me wrong. Much rather be in this position, a good, solid win against New Zealand, a record win against New Zealand, as opposed to a loss. So just under 5 minutes now before we get into the game. As I said, guys, in the chat, drop a message. Where are you tuning in from? Would be fantastic to have a look. Going through the teams very quickly. Yeah, it looks like a pretty solid Scotland side. I think always exciting to watch good old Finn Russell at 10 there, the magician, to see what he can do, what he can pull out the bag. I think you've got your strong wing pairing of Van der Merwe and Steyn, who played excellently in their last game. So, in the forward pack, you've got the solid names there. You've got Vipernel, you've got Gilchrist, Ritchie, Dempsey, Dodge. Yeah, I just think, a really solid Scottish side. It's going to be interesting to see what the centres can do, as well as the rest of the back line. Ollie Smith, Hugh Jones, and Tuipulotu will as well, to see what they can do with ball in hand. Again, I must admit now, quite ignorant on the Georgian side. I've not had the chance to watch much of their games. Really excited about this Rugby Pass news, that they're going to be streaming a lot of the games in countries where there isn't coverage, because I think it gives the opportunity to watch these minnow teams, and I hope it's something they maybe can look at to expand. Almost try reach out to all of these games, because I look through here the Georgian team, and I'm not recognizing any of the names, unfortunately. So I'm really, really, really excited, and hopefully, we get to see just better coverage of these smaller sides. These guys, show up every 4 years. They're constantly there. We know they can play rugby. They've come off, a 3-game win streak here, and so deserved to get proper, I think, recognition. So yeah, really excited to see what they can do. Hopefully, they can keep the discipline. I think what won Fiji the game today was really we used to sort of seeing the flying Fijian breaks and the one-handed ball carries and the, this exciting rugby, but it's not winning rugby. Whereas today, and even last week, I commentated on the game against France. It was a much more structured Fijian side. It was much more test-oriented mindset. And hopefully the Georgians can do the same thing, where they can just really do smart plays. And it's small things. Like there was an excellent sort of clear-out or exit strategy from the Fijians today, deep in their 22, but it was as cool and calm as you like. Good, solid set phase, strong run up, make some more ground, and an excellent kick to clear. It's not a flashy try. It's not, an exciting line break, but those are the small steps. If you can string those things together, those are the plays that ultimately lead you to winning test matches. And hopefully the Georgians can do the same there. So just under a minute now, guys, before we get the stream up and running here. Very, very excited for this to kick off. Can't wait for it. But before we do, just want to remind you guys that we are brought to you and partnered with Bitdefender. So Bitdefender is our global leader in cybersecurity. Bitdefender is committed to defending people all around the globe against cyber attacks to transform and improve their digital experience. So a big thank you to Bitdefender for supporting the channel. We're also brought to you by Boyle Sports. So Boyle Sports is another partner of the channel. And if you want to put your money where your mouth is, so you should be dropping those sort of win predictions, who you think is going to win in the chat, voting that poll. If you want to put your money where your mouth is, then there's good news for you. Forever Sports has partnered with Boyle Sports as the official betting partner for the channel. Boyle Sports has recently launched in South Africa, and there's never been a better time to join. So make sure you go check them out and place your bets, and the links are in the description. All right, it is 6:30 on my side, so we should be having a feed any moment now. So let's see if I can get this going, and there should not be an issue there. Excellent, guys. So in the chat there, as I said, let me know what's going on, where you're coming in from, where you're watching, and some brave souls can actually start to do some score predictions. What do you think? As well as a win. So, I think lots of people sort of seem to think Scotland over Georgia. Do we think you're going to get close to the score? Right. Get this going. Thank you, guys. And here we go. Excellent. All right. So the game has started, kicked off with 30 seconds in. We've got the Scots in blue and Georgia in white. Excellent. So 30 seconds in, 0-0. And the game is underway. So Scotland with the ball in their half, out to the back to the left-hand side. Georgian player clearly offsides, but not interfering too much with play. Georgian defence looking good. It is early days, but if they can keep it up. Right, we get it out to the backs on the Scottish side. Get it all the way to the right-hand side. Richie takes it in. Good tackle by the Georgians. From the base, out to the left. Russell with the ball out deep to the back. Long skip cut out pass to the left. Looks like Duan van der Merwe doing Duan van der Merwe things. Breaking tackles, storming up the field. Takes 4 Georgians to get him down. Quickly over the ball, though. Cleared out. Still with Scotland. Finn Russell. Georgian quick defense. Little chip over to the right. Bounces and out into touch. So, lovely run from Duan van der Merwe there up the left-hand side. Doing Duan van der Merwe things. But the Scotland attack just starting to ask some questions of the Georgian defense. Early days and already some holes being shown there. So, can the Georgians look to tighten things up just a little bit? Or it's going to be a long day in the office. So we do have a line-out. It'll be a Georgian line-out. Georgian defense was very quick there, shutting off Finn Russell's option, so he tried to dink it over. Georgian line-out is secured. They go to the base and out. Look to clear. It's kicked deep into Scottish territory. Bounces awkwardly, but collected by Steyn. Over to the Scottish fullback. So no Kinghorn and fullback today. Back to Duan van der Merwe. All the way to the left. And taken out of play. So we'll have another Georgian line out. Interesting, the Scots trying to run it from deep. I think they'll fancy themselves. So as I mentioned, no Kinghorn, not on the bench either, but we've got Ollie Smith at 15, collecting things for the Scottish back there. Yeah, really get a shot of the Scottish coaching staff. They'll be looking to get a good performance in from their squad. Right, Georgian line out to the back again, off the top. Good solid run by the Georgians, but good defense from the Scottish. Good tackles. Slow ball. Georgians will try to get quicker. Still not coming out the ruck. 9 is digging for that ball. Here it comes. Potter forwards on the left. Behind the gain line. Again, slow ball. Georgians not quite set. Little tip pass there. There we go. Over the advantage line. Better from the Georgians. Quicker ball. Now they look to kick over the top. And it is spilt out into touch. So Duan van der Merwe not taking that ball cleanly and actually funneling it out into touch. So the Georgians will be very happy with that territory gain as well as keeping possession. So Duan sort of seemed to be in two minds about it. He should have left it, it looked like. I mean, always hindsight 2020. But if he had left it, Looks like it was going out on the full. But as I said, hindsight. So not much luck there. So a good attacking platform for the Georgians. Just outside the Scottish 5 meter. So I reckon about 10 meters out or so. We go front ball. The Georgians set to maul. Good solid set there. They've spun around once. The ball has come loose. Someone's broken off. The Scots immediately swarm around it. Does look a bit awkward. And the Scots have kept that and turn over possession. So it did look like a good push from the Georgians. Interestingly, that they broke off quite early, potentially just splintered there unintentionally. But the Scots very, again, aware that presence of mind to sort of swarm that ball as soon as they did, getting possession back. So Jamie Ritchie leading his Scottish side today. Right, so first scrum of the game. Scotland ball, deep in Scottish territory, and it goes straight down. So we will have a reset. Ref asking both sides for a nice straight scrum. Phenomenal beards on the Georgian players. Via looking as solid as ever. So should be a good solid scrum here. The Georgians are known for their good scrummaging. The Scots set piece has looked good over the last few weeks. So hopefully we can see more of the same going forward. So once again, a reset scrum deep in Scottish territory, all the way to the left-hand side of the field. We reset. They're not the most stable. The Georgians appear to have gone down. The ref pointing to the back saying play on. Picked from the back, given to the centres, crashed the ball up. Again, looking for the forwards is Ben White. Instead, he goes out to Finn Russell, who hoops the ball downfield. However, does not find touch. So into the hand of the Georgian backs, and they will look to run it back. Big up and under. It's a good chase. It's contestable and collected. Excellent catch in the air. Really well done. Quickly out the backs. What can the Georgians do now with this advantage field? Oh, lovely hands to the centre, and unfortunately then just tipped on. So just a little bit too excited there. So one excellent kick and chase and collection. Nice and quick then from the base of the ruck out to the left-hand side. Beautiful little hands and offload, and then just trying to force one too many. So potentially just getting a little bit overexcited with the play there. But otherwise, really encouraging from the Georgians, saying, hey, look, we're going to ask some questions of you too. Lovely line there. And then, maybe just one forced pass, one that didn't necessarily need to go. So Finn Russell, beaten there, was in a good position. However, the Georgian player just got into a better spot. Unfortunately, Georgian at number 15 there, just knocking the ball on. And that is David Ninashvili. Just knocking it on, not being able to collect it cleanly. So another scrum, and another scrum goes down. And it is a Scottish penalty. The ref clearly indicating dropping bind and going straight down. And the Georgian player, number 3, Beka Gigashvili, looks absolutely bemused. Says, excuse me, that's not the call. But they always do. Props always get up and just seem to say, oh, how? I don't agree with that call. So Finn Russell looks to move the Scots up the field. Not the greatest territory gain, but I think, rather safe than sorry. Looks to be on the halfway mark. So we'll have a Scottish line out. And they moved it very quickly all the way to the left-hand side of the field. So Scots with the ball now, again, looking to find those holes in the Georgian defence. The Georgians, I thought they had it turned over there, just not. Finn Russell again, late pass, excellent run from the Scottish players. The centre's linking up nicely there. Ritchie at the base of the scrum, out the back. Finn Russell deep. Gives it some space there. Surely you put Duan into some holes there. Staying on the left-hand side, so out of position, but looking for work. Off the base from Duan van der Merwe. Over the advantage line. Georgians having to track back. And a turnover. Excellent work by the Georgian defence. Getting it over the ball. And the Scots blown for holding on. So great work from Georgia. Number 6. So Luka Ivanishvili. Yep. Excellent work. Was the first player in, not involved in the tackle, hands over the ball, really strong body position. So Scotland struggling to sort of build some phases, looks like, to mount any sort of periods of sustained pressure. They have asked questions of the Georgian defence, but likewise the Georgians have hit back quite hard. So we see Luka Matkava there, the Georgian number 10, starting to dictate some play. So we have a Georgian line-out on the 22. Nicely taken there. Again, they look to maul. They're going to want to drive themselves up the field, not making much ground, making no ground at all. Ref indicating, right, you're probably there. Down the blind side, little sneaky one we go. Not much space, met easily by the Scottish defence. So Georgian forwards now will look to bash it up a bit. Here it comes, a bit slower. Out it goes, another pot of forwards to the left, same side. Quicker ball. Now what can the Georgian backs do? Not much. Strong tackle from the Scottish forwards. Again, the Georgians potentially running in, being a little bit isolated. Held up strongly in the tackle there by Scotland number 5, Grant Gilchrist. And a Georgian penalty. So potentially for a high tackle. As I looked down, the ref decided to blow the call. No, not rolling away. So falling on the wrong side of the tackle there, Gilchrist was unfortunate. And it looks like the Georgians, have decided to go for the posts. So within the Scotland half, probably about 38 meters or so. The Georgian 10, Matkava, will look to put his team ahead of Scotland again. And this is the kind of play I was talking about the Fijians doing well against England earlier. Choosing the smart play, taking the points, just keeping the scoreboard ticking over, never letting that pressure ease up. England always feeling like they are constantly behind. So we see the shot clock coming in with 15 seconds to go. Matkava hoofs it, and the flags are up, and points are on the board. Right, so Georgia leads Scotland 3 points to nothing, 12 minutes in. So again, that just sends a little warning shot to the Scottish saying, look, you're going to want to watch your discipline because we'll punish you for it. Right, a quick restart and off we go. Deep, but again, Matkava, lovely run and lovely little offload back inside to the Georgian players. Now, what can they do from here? Excellent running forward ball. Who's with him? You don't want to get isolated there. The Scots very good at turning over ball, but the Georgians doing well out to the right, out to the back. So they got space. They'll look to go up, a little dink over the top, looking for the territory game, and I think, unfortunately, out on the full. So number 15, Niniashvili, just a bit overzealous with his kick. Really unfortunate, though. The Georgians were looking fantastic, so we're going to have a Scottish line out. Very, very quick pace here. Here they go, out to the back. So Finn Russell distributes, long skip pass out. Again, taken in, and the Georgians absolutely swarming that ball. All hands around it. It's a maul, and they've turned that ball over. Excellent work by the Georgians. The Scottish just not able to get many phases together. I'm not sure who that was. Potentially Hugh Jones taking it into contact. A bit high running upright. Allows the Georgians to get in underneath and around. And it was Hugh Jones indeed. And then just turn it over. So, an unforced error by the Georgians. Sort of relieves the pressure on the Scottish. Scottish have a good platform to attack and then not being able to convert that into points. Again, something we saw with England in the previous game. Many visits to the 22, but just not being able to convert pressure into points. So we have a scrum in the Georgian half, pretty much on the 10-meter mark, almost in the middle of the field. So possession with Georgia. Ball is fed. The scrum is more stable, dug up by the number 8, the number 9. And again, Georgia will look to kick it downfield, hoping for that territory. And collected quite easily by Ollie Smith and called the mark. So they would have been looking to get that line out, but Ollie Smith doing excellently to come across and cover that. and call the mark. So 14 minutes gone, 3 points to nothing. Georgia ahead of Scotland as we have a re-kick from the 22. Deep. Georgians collect. They'll look to go up and under. Hoisted into the sky. Excellent kick chase here. Oh, and again, unfortunately, just knocks it on. But the Georgians showing that they're really looking to compete for those high balls. It's millimetres away from collecting that cleanly. So it is advantage to Scotland. They have got the scrum advantage. And the ref decided no advantage gain. So we're going back to where the knock-on was. Okay, but the Georgians, I think, will fancy themselves here with the up and unders. The Scots haven't looked too secure under that high ball. I'm not sure if it was Dempsey who was setting himself back there to collect it. But the Georgians really excellent with their positioning of the kick as well as the follow-up chase, right? A kick is only as good as its chase. So we'll have a Scottish scrum now in Scottish territory. So what can the Scots do from here? Will they look to run it? Do they fancy themselves and to keep possession, or are they going to play a territory battle and look to get themselves pin the Georgians back into their territory and say, right, you run from here. So in the Scottish half, Scottish scrum, what can the Scots do? If you haven't already, guys, please make sure you hit that like button on the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you can, become a member of Forever Sports. It'd be fantastic to have you join. Allows us to cover more sports. So good scrum. The Scottish, looking to be dominant, gaining the penalty. So they've got penalty advantage here. So what can the Scots do? They've got a free play effectively. Finn Russell, ball in hand. Lovely skip pass out to the right. It looks like Kyle Steyn. Good strong run up from him. Still going on his feet. Offloading. Still out to the left now. We look to go back. Finn Russell, deep pass to the left. Ollie Smith cut out at the legs here. So I believe they still have the penalty advantage. Skip pass now to Duan Fonomover on the wing. Dealt with quite well and taken out. So, referee, is he going to say that advantage was gained? Looks like it. Okay, so the ref deciding. I could see Duan Fonomover there mouthing, I thought we had advantage. Yep, he's with me as well. And this is potentially somewhere that World Rugby could look to clear up things. Is when is advantage truly gained? It becomes quite subjective then if it's left up to the refs. Anyway, Georgian line out, secured nicely down to Maul. Seems like quite a pattern. And then a box kick over the top from their number 9. So quite deep, not contestable. Fonomover collects, passes off to Smith, who then returns the kick deep into the Georgian half. Moved to the centre, number 15. Nice little step there around Hugh Jones. Oh, lovely work. Nice offload. Lovely hands by the Georgians. Now there's space and numbers to the left-hand side. Here they come. All the way to the wing. Dinked inside off the foot. There are Scottish players around, but so is the Georgian player. He needs to dive on it. Oh, my goodness. I think centimetres. And that would have been a phenomenal Georgian try. However, Ollie Smith, I believe, is getting up quite slowly. Looks to have saved the Scots from that moment. So the Georgians are really asking big questions. This was excellent work here. Lovely step. And then does so well to beat 1, 2, 3 defenders. A lovely offload. All the way to the wing. Nice work done there. Kicked back inside. It was very, very close. So we have a goal line dropout. The Georgians will say, right, we'll come back at you. So Scotland having to really work hard here on the fence. They will want to get ball in hand. Georgians move it to the right-hand side of the field now in the centre. But isolated there. Not many options outside of him as he took it in. The Georgian number 12. Again, quite slow ball at the ruck. Allowing the Scottish defence to send and then come up quite quickly. So here come the Georgians back to the left-hand side. It's again, good phase play. Can they just keep building pressure? Can they entice the Scottish in to give away something? Little pick and go. Nice pass, lovely run. Again, Georgian number 15 playing out of his absolute socks here in the opening half. David Inashvili, number 9, round the corner. Holes opening up here for the Georgians. 3 metres from the Scottish line. Tackle is made. Has to let go, ref. Right, offside comes Scotland. So the Georgians with the free play here. Penalty advantage. What can they do? Just need to be smart here, not rush anything. Not sure what that was. No, no, and it's all come undone. So the ref will call them back for the penalty. So really good from the Georgians, keeping that pressure up. Would have liked to have them seen do something a bit more. You've got that free play, potentially look to open things up, but they will have this. Looks like a penalty towards the left-hand side of the field. Yeah, just on the 15-meter, on the 5-meter there. So calling for the posts. So again, another interesting call here. Again, potentially the smarter call, bank the 3 points potentially, and then just keep that scoreboard ticking over and, tell the Scots to come back at us. Really good play by the Georgians. So far for me, the Georgian number 15, David Niniashvili, has been definitely their star player. He has caused havoc for the Scottish defence. So looking forward to seeing what he can do. Georgian number 9, Vasil Lobshandizne, also looking quite dangerous around the edge of the rucks. Okay, and number 10, Luka Matkava, slots the penalty kick. So 20 minutes gone, 6 points to nothing. Georgia leading Scotland. I don't think Scotland will be too worried just yet, but I do think they need to start stringing something together. So what can the Scottish do? They need to reply. Realistically, you think probably the next one's to score. Would do good things for momentum. So deep restart. The Georgians collect. The Scots working them hard to that touchline, trying to take the ball out of play. The Georgians doing well to keep it in play. So again, what extra strategy do we have? We're in the 22. We're just about on the edge. Are we looking to box or are we looking to go deep? Georgian number 9 moves it to the back. Kicks it over the top and looks to exit. So again, quite good. Not the best territory gain, but good extra strategy. Just take some pressure off. So we will have a Scottish line out on the 10-meter in the Georgian half, and it's gone quite quickly. My goodness, the cameraman can't keep up with him. So the Scots in some space. Jamie Ritchie there with a good run up the centre. The ball seems to have come loose, spilled out. So the Georgians have it. Out to the right they go. Numbers and space, but quickly swamped by Scottish defenders. Again, the Georgians need to keep possession, with most of the possession in this first half, I reckon. Again, good solid runs from the Georgian forwards, getting over that advantage line, allowing play to sort of keep going, except the ball quite slow at the base of the ruck. So I'm not sure if that's a presentation or if the 9 is deliberately slowing things down. A little bit of indecision there, but a sneaky kick through to the Scots, who then hoof it back down. So here we go. So Matkava back to Ninashvili, who then doesn't beat the defender. Solid tackle there by Viet Bienel. Yeah, you can't go through him. But it's looking good from the Georgians. The ball is moved all the way back to the base of the ruck. And this train that we're seeing more of, box kicked from the 9 over the top. No real chase. Correct me if I'm wrong. Excellent chase from the Georgians, who collected brilliantly. So the Georgians are doing really well to sort of kick and collect. Long skip pass out to the left and just can't collect. Really unfortunate. That pass looked backwards to me, but the Georgian number 11, Miriam Morebazda, just couldn't collect it. He was in acres of space. Just seemed a bit too high, maybe potentially over his shoulder. Yeah, I should have caught that though. Looked like the Scots were coming across to deal with that, but would have been lovely to see him in some space. Jamie Ritchie just bringing his troops together there, trying to bring heads together. So let's calm things down. I think what's potentially happened, we haven't seen much of a Scottish game plan here. And this is always the risk of playing a not a really highly ranked side, is you can get sucked into their game plan and their style and their sort of, the scrappiness of the rugby that kind of ensues. And this was something I was concerned about with the South African game against the Welsh side a couple of weeks ago. However, the Boks did really well to just stick to their game plan, and they were rewarded for it. So I think what Scotland need to do is almost just try and reset and say, right, let's just go back to what we wanted to do. Let's enforce our plan on them as opposed to reacting. What the Scots also need to do is get more ball in hand. So we do have a Scottish scrum here on the right-hand side of the field in Scottish territory. Scrum has gone down, but the ref's saying to play it. Out it goes to the backs. Nicely worked. Ollie Smith being heavily involved in this first half. Lots of carries of the ball. Out it comes to the forwards. Ben White moving it quickly to Russell, who moves it back inside to Van der Merwe, who's neutralized quite quickly, but it pops out of nowhere. Russell again shifting it on. Oh, just getting it out there to the left. To Ollie Smith again being involved, so really making his presence felt on the field. Oh, excellent tackle from the Georgians. Read that perfectly. And then again, just trying to force that pass. So, really great defense by the Georgians, reading the play well. Just seemed a bit flat, the Scottish did there on their attack, so allowing the Georgians to come up quickly. But good defense by the Georgians. Really good defense. So Finn Russell here shifting it to Via Pianell, who was met excellently. I mean, you don't see that often. Via Pianell being driven back by the fly half, Matkava. So really good work, which resulted in a knock-on, Scottish knock-on. So we have a Georgian scrum. Georgian scrum about the centre of the field. So the scrum hasn't looked too bad. It's been a bit scrappy, but here it looks quite solid, not moving at all. So the Georgians come to the left, but they fake. They go to the right. They've got space. Have they got the numbers? Again, that man, number 15 for Georgia, Niniashvili, doing well. Slow ball. Georgians could look to speed that up, not allowing the Scots to set the defence so much. A little bit of a counter-ruck here by the Scottish. Good counter-ruck by the Scottish. And then a penalty. So it looks like coming in through the side. So really good counter work there. It looked like, I was going to say Richie Gray. That's not who I want. Jamie Ritchie, rather, identified that the Georgian sort of ruck there wasn't set too well, getting in underneath them. And number 4, Sam Skinner, joining him. And then, things just deteriorating. So Scotland penalty. Finn Russell has moved us down the field now deep into the Georgian territory, looking like probably 15 metres out from the try line. 10 metres out from the try line. Scottish line out. This would be an excellent place for the Scots to score. Good attacking platform. We go to the front of the line out. They set to maul. They've spun almost completely round, but still with the Scots, and slowly they move. Well controlled by Skinner at the back there. Gives it to White. Looks to move it out. Duan van der Merwe gets it back out to Smith, to Russell, who then tries to chip it forward, but it looked like they had a penalty. Otherwise, I don't think Russell would have kicked it away. Potentially number 8 infringing there. Collapsing them all. So another Scottish penalty taken quickly by Ben White, and again, maybe trying to catch the Georgians sleeping, but they weren't. But here come the Scots. So Ben White out to the right, taken into contact by the first receiver. Ben White again to Russell, out to Smith, to Stain, steps back inside, met well by the Georgian defence. The Scottish forwards, Ben White, again linking up with Jamie Ritchie. Ben White again. To Russell out the back. There was numbers, couldn't utilise them. Georgian defence looking really good here though. Coming up to meet the Scots, not allowing them too much room to move. So the forwards do their thing. Ben White then again to Russell. Scotland going backwards, losing ground. If you think about, and that ball is lost forward. So could we see a counter here from the Georgians? They're in space. But good tackle there by the Scots. He's looking for someone to offload it to. Georgians doing well. They just need to secure this now, take advantage of the ground they've gained. Look to kick it over the top. It has been touched by the Scottish. So we've now a bit manic here. On the left-hand side of the field, Scotland in possession. Georgians recollect. Ball is thrown back inside, and we eventually go out for who knows what the call is. Okay, so hindsight, always 2020, but Ben White taking that penalty quickly, potentially not the right call. Again, opportunity to kick right onto the Georgian 5-meter and set up your maul. Try and move the Georgians backwards and then give your backs a good attacking platform to go from there. But yeah, Scots sort of ultimately worked all the way to the back. But an excellent bit of counter sort of attack here from the Georgians, not letting the Scots rest at all. But again, potentially just then making that last final decision not the correct one. So, Georgian line out inside the Georgian half. They'll look to get back into Scottish territory. So we go to the back, and it is turned over by the Scots, tipped off the top. So the Georgians won't be pleased with that. Here we come to the right-hand side of the field, just over the halfway mark. The Georgian defence, solid. Off we go to the left. Russell out to Stain. Lovely run by Stain, slicing through the defence. Lovely offload to White, looking for support. Nothing there at the moment. Swamped, but knocked on then. Scotland, so unfortunate, really. Again, they're finding those holes, probing those gaps, but there's just no one really going with them. But excellent run by Kyle Stain there. Really solid here. Bang, inside, through the holes. Just needs those support runners off. Ben White was there, and then again looking, but ran into one of the big Georgians and then knocking the ball on. Unfortunate for the Scots, but good cover defence by the Georgians. So we will have a Georgian scrum. It's 30 minutes gone, so only 10 minutes of this first half to go. I mean, yeah, good for Georgia. Scotland potentially a bit shocked, I think. So Georgian scrum. Set, looks solid. Ball is fed. Oh, Scots with a strong drive, but the ball is able to come out there from the Georgians. So did well under pressure. Oh, goodness. Unfortunate. The Georgian number 9 from the base of the scrum, just kicking too far and out on the full. So Vasil, unfortunately, about a meter or so out on the full. So we'll come back then for a Scottish line out. Really unfortunate. But again, these are the small errors that these sides need to just tighten up, because good sides will take advantage of that and make you pay with points. So Scottish line out, collected in the centre, out it comes. Duan van der Merwe being driven backwards, sight rarely seen. Out we go to the left again with the forwards, out to the back. This is Russell with ball in hand, exciting. What can he do? Takes it to the line. Feeds it late to Ollie Smith. Scotland again coming to the right. Forwards bashing it up close to the ruck. Ben White feeds Russell. Russell looks out to the back. Ollie Smith again being involved. This man is everywhere. And the Scottish forwards not making too many positive meters. Georgian defence looking strong for now. Popped off the ground, back to the left-hand side. Just looks a bit dishevelled, a bit frenetic, frantic, unstructured. Again, I think the Scottish being drawn into the Georgians' style a bit. We do have a knock-on from Georgia, so it will be a scrum of Scotland. But, yeah, nothing too threatening from the Scottish in this first half so far. A few runs, individual runs, but not necessarily any sort of plays or continued string of phases that we've seen. Not the Scotland that showed up against France. It was last week or 2 weeks ago. So what can the Scots do here? There's 7 minutes left in the first half. Can they look to score some points? Right, thanks everyone. I'm just seeing the comments here. Apologies, I've just got this up. So having a look here, we've got Scotland to win by 30 points from LJ the man. Okay, so LJ, have we got any updated point scores here? As we have that scrum, it's collapsing. Far side there, number 3 looks to be bringing down the scrum. So Scotland will have a chance here. Now, what do? Do they go for the points? No, Finn Russell says we are going to the line. Scotland will want to look to score a try and go into the lead. So while the Scots set up here, let's have a look at the comments. We've got Scotland to win by 30 points from LJ the man. Campo 675. Scotland will win, but really hope they do it in such a way that their confidence gets dented a bit. Okay, so interesting that Campo is wanting the Scots to sort of have their confidence dented. I think, Campo, your wishes come true here. The Scots wouldn't have, fancied going into the half down by 6. But here we have the Scottish line out on the 5 meter. What can they do? They go all the way to the back. They set to maul. The Georgians meet them. Surely that's once, ref. Georgian defense looking really strong. But the Scots move it sideways. Referee not really indicating the Scots to use it much. Here it comes out the back to the Scottish backs. Taken to the line. Excellent run, I think, by Hugh Jones there. Here it comes. This looks inevitable. Long skip pass out to Kyle Steyn. Steyn gets up. He fancies himself. So potentially a Scottish try on the right-hand side. But we're going to have a look. The ref looks like he's called the try. I think he's happy with it. They might not go up to TMO, but we never know. TMO is being used more and more. Refs having lots of conversation with the Georgians, but it looks like the try has been awarded. So the Scots will be very pleased with that. Not the greatest kicking position here on the right-hand side. Okay, LJ the man. Yeah, greetings from Germany from the Conversation Station. Excellently tuning in from Germany. That's fantastic. The Delta is fantastic. It is hot here in winter. Oh, Kyle Steyn doing excellently there, staying in touch. The try is definitely deserved. Really good work. So excellent. Let's see, Lionel, I'm behind you. Okay, how's it, Leon? Is it a try? From a second angle, no try. Try disallowed. It is a knock-on from Kyle Steyn. Did so well to stay in the field of play. And as he was going to ground the ball, it looked like he lost control of it. So really unfortunate there for the Scottish. So try disallowed. They'll be really bleak with that. Right, so we go. It is on SuperSport. It should be on SuperSport. Your stream there, so not Senti. Blue 001 Kiwi here. I've licked my wounds, and through the power of bourbon, I'm happy to report I'm back to full health. Well, Blue 001, we are happy to have you back to full health. Let's have a look. We do indeed. South Africa has a tough pool, but hopefully we can take Ireland. So the comments do reach me. Thanks, guys. Yeah, Forever Sports. I can see you here in the comments. Got you up. So I am with you. Let's have a look. Who else here? We got Go On Georgia from Powerbite 92. Yeah, the Georgians looking good. Looks like about last minute or so of play. We've had the restart. And the Scots here with the ball. They'll look to get it out to the backs. They'll really be hoping to get on the scoreboard by halftime. Okay, this is probably the most pace we've seen from Scotland. Can they capitalize? Russell distributing excellently, but the Georgian defense holding strong as they have been the whole first half. Here we come back to the right-hand side. Good solid tackle. Man over the ball, but off his feet. He needs to roll. Don't give it away. Don't give an easy penalty away. loose pass from the Scots there, allowing the Georgian defence to come up. But no real attacking threat from the Scots so far. Some of the Georgian players seem to be staying down. Play continues. Out to the left. Skinner taking it in solidly, but the Georgian defence doing Georgian defence things. Oh, picked up. Is that knocked on? Ref has called us back there, unfortunately, for a Georgian knock-on. So again, Georgia putting lots of pressure on Scotland, but ultimately resulting in a Scottish scrum. Okay, let's have a look. Right, give us some love. Sorry, guys. I'm with you in the comments. Here I am. Okay, so nice to meet all of you. Powerbite actually saying Forever Sports always makes me smile. We're really good to hear that. It's really glad to hear it. Thank you, Powerbite. You make us smile. Make sure that you guys are dropping a like on the video. It really does help us. Let's have a look. You say it's for the fans. Yes, I'm here. Read out the comments. I'm with you guys. Apologies. I'm really nervous to get too much going here and asking too much of the Delta Wi-Fi. I'd rather be able to tell you what's going on in the game, but I've got the comments going. Let's have a look. Powerbite. Georgian rugby players broke Emma Watson's heart. This is a true story. Right. Well, I don't know too much about that, but maybe you can let us know. Kyle Steyn, the Cinderella of Scottish wingers, always the bridesmaid to Duan and Darcy. Yeah, very much so. But I feel like, Powerbite 92, that Kyle Steyn has been playing himself into a really good position to potentially start some games. So I agree with you. Duan and Darcy are definitely solid starting options, but Steyn doing good things. So thank you guys for joining again on the stream with me. We've got about a minute and a half left to go. We've got a Scottish scrum all the way on the left-hand side of the field. Solid scrum from both sides. Again, the set, it comes out to Russell, takes it to the line. Out to Duan van der Merwe, who breaks 1-2, taken down by the third tackler. Ben White in there quickly picks and goes around the side. I believe that was Hugh Jones. Gives it to Kyle Steyn, again probing. Ben White there quickly looking. Where the forwards? We need this forward running onto the ball quickly. Russell with it, moves it to the left-hand side. Scottish number 12 distributes all the way to the left. We've gone from one side to the other. Oh, I thought the Georgian player was over there for the turnover. Unfortunately not. Lovely little tip ball to Jamie Ritchie. Right flat to the line. Oh my goodness, the ref not communicating well and then eventually indicating that the Georgian player was in fact legal. I believe it was big number 3 from Georgia, Beka Gigashvili, getting in over the ball just in time. Hands on the ball. Again, not really communicating well with the ref, but we've got a good turnover. So the Georgians absorbing a lot of pressure there. The Scots don't look like they're going to come away with any points in the first half. Okay, so in the chat, guys, now that I've got the chat up and running and I can see your comments, please, maybe an updated score prediction. The only score prediction I've got is from LJ the Man. Scotland to win by 30 points. Well, it's going to take a massive effort from Scotland in the second half if we want to see that occur. So are we still thinking Scotland by 30? Or what are we thinking? Does Georgia look like they're leading Scotland? Well, they not look like they are leading Scotland. 6 points to nothing with about 20 seconds to go. So play has stopped as we get a nice aerial view of Murrayfield. Some of the Georgian players coming off, I think, potentially just for a blood substitution there. It's got ears, nose, and eyes all bandaged up. So the Georgians take the penalty kick to gain some territory. What can Georgia do here? 10 seconds on the clock. Will they look to potentially get some more points just before the half, or do we reckon they'll go quickly out? So very quick to the front of the line out, given to the 9, hoofed out. That decision is made. There we go. So Georgia going into halftime, leading Scotland 6 points to nothing. And to be fair, probably a fair reflection on the score, on the play of things. So Finn Russell coming off looking really, really not happy with things. Jamie Ritchie having lots of words with the referee. But I think the Georgians' defense has been what's kept them in this game. I think, initially at the start of the game, I said potentially they're going to need to maintain that effort throughout the game. We often see all sides starting with a good defense, and as the legs get tired, more holes appear. But the Georgians, to their credit, have kept things really neat and tight, so excellent work to them. Scotland, though, I mean, I can't tell you. I don't know. It'd be really interesting to see, actually, if they got over 8 phases at all in that first half, not really able to build the pressure and cause the Georgian defense to do much. The Georgian defenses look good, but how much has that been because of, well, really a toothless Scottish attack? So let's have a look. We've got some updated scores here before I go just to get a drink. We've got Scotland 13, Georgia 9 from Matthew Dixon. So Matthew reckons the Scots will come back. Georgia only going to get one more penalty there in the second half, potentially. Powerbite 92. Emma Watson dated the Georgian Sevens player who was at Oxford University with her. She was into him, and then he dumped her. So Powerbite giving us some lore there about the Georgian rugby players and Emma Watson. But yeah, guys, while I go away for a bit of the halftime, before I come back, just like Matthew did, pop in your score predictions there. It is currently 6-0 in favor of Georgia at halftime at Murrayfield. Do the Scots have it in them to bring it back? Matthew thinks so. But what about the rest of you? So I'm going to leave you over now. Just for about 5-10 minutes. Pop in your score predictions in the chat there, and I will be back with you just before we kick off for the second half. Thank you, guys. Right, how's it, everyone? Back from the halftime break. Just a couple minutes here before we get into the second half of Scotland and Georgia. If you're just joining us, Scotland are behind 6 points. So Georgia leading the Scots 6 points to nothing at the end of the first half. I think potentially a halftime that score that no one would have predicted. Having a look at your predictions in the chat. Once again, Matthew Dixon saying Scotland to win by 13 points to 9. So Matthew believes the Scots can come back. Yesterday saying Scotland to come back with a win, but hopefully without serious injuries. Absolutely. I think, anytime one of the players goes down now, everyone just kind of holds their breath a bit to see how serious it is because, we don't want any serious injuries now, just right before the World Cup. Gary Smith there saying, I'm rather surprised by the current score. Georgia playing their perfect counter, or do you believe that Scotland is not performing to their ability? Well, Gary, really interesting comments. Guys, let me know what you think about Gary's comments. Maybe you can pop your responses in the chat there. But Gary, from my side, I do think the Georgians are playing well. I don't think they're playing excellently, but they are swarming the Scots. Their defense has been really good. But definitely, I think we have to acknowledge that Scotland aren't playing to their best. Their attack seems a bit toothless, bit flat. Potentially when they get out to the back and there is some space, it's very sort of one-dimensional. I also think that they're not sort of building any phases. They're not looking to add that sustained pressure, causing the Georgian defense to get tired. Maybe the Georgian defense is looking so good because the Scottish attack isn't that good. So who knows? Let's see what can happen in the second half. Once again, guys, welcome. If you're just joining us, we're just about to kick off here the second half of Scotland versus Georgia on Forever Rugby, on Forever Sports. If you haven't already, hit that like button on the video, please. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And if you can, check out becoming a member. By becoming a member, you sort of enable us to give more coverage, different games, different sports. We're able to host more fan forums, fan cams, all the lovely things and all the lovely content that we're able to put out is thanks to our members. So if you are in a position to become a member, please look at doing that. So a couple minutes away, if not seconds, here come the Scots running out onto the field. But before that, guys, just a reminder, we are brought to you by Boyle Sports. So do you think you know what the result is going to be? Then why don't you head over to Boyle Sports and create an account? Place your bet. Not only can you win big on your prediction, but Boyle Sports will match your first deposit up to R1,000. So check out the description and join today. So to get the best odds and bets, go check out your Boyle Sports. Excellent. So we're bought by Boyle Sports as well as Bitdefender. So, Bitdefender, while we have a break, let me remind you that this coverage is sponsored by the global leader in cybersecurity, Bitdefender. Bitdefender is the total security brings major changes to the way online threats are detected and repelled. The new cyber threat intelligence technologies included can analyze and identify suspicious network-level activities and block sophisticated exploits, malware, and botnet-related URLs and brute force attacks. So to learn more about Bitdefender's offering, please click on the link in the description, guys. So our two fantastic sponsors of the day. Okay, it looks like we are about to kick off, and there we go. Finn Russell gets us underway. Scotland playing from right to left. Here we go. So collected by the Georgians, the number 10, who has really been quite impressive as well. I thought he's dictated play on the Georgian side of things really well. So taken into contact, Matkava, just inside the 22. So Vasil, the number 9, will look to kick, and quite an excellent box kick. Still in the Georgian half, but on the 10-meter line. So relieving quite a bit of pressure there. We will have a Scottish line out then. Taken again very quite quickly. Out we come to Finn Russell. Looks to Richie into contact. Running quite upright. Ben White now goes to Russell on the right-hand side. Takes it to the line and gives it very late to the Scottish runner there. This is quicker from Scotland. The pace seems to be a bit quicker. This is good. I think you don't want to let the Georgians time to settle. But the Georgian defense holding up strong. Good solid tackles. Out the back. Come all the way to the left-hand side. Oh, Finn Russell doing Finn Russell things. Excellent. Taking it as he's going down. One hand offload there to Duan Fanamerva, I believe. Excellent work by Finn Russell, a little magician. Out it goes. Again, back involved in play. So we're in the centre of the field now. Again, the Scotland going to the right. Ball looked like it came a bit loose there, but knocked backwards, says the referee. Scotland looking to build some phases here. Here they come again to the left. There is space, 2-on-1. Hugh Jones takes it in, but unfortunately, It is intercepted and hoofed down the field by the Georgian players. So massive sigh of relief breathed by the Georgians. Finn Russell with the ball in hand, having a look at what can be done. Gives it out to the right. They leave Ollie Smith. Then back inside to Carl Steyn, who offloads. Taken solidly in by the Scottish centre. Out we come. Again, so this is better from Scotland. This is definitely much more pressure, sustained pressure. The Georgians having to defend, but now for sustained periods of time. So can they keep their shape? Scots running hard at the line. Surely holes have to be opening up. The Georgians must be getting tired. You can't defend forever. Can the Scots mount some form of threatening attack? And can they convert this pressure into points now? Ben White from the base. Out to Via Nel. Back inside to Duan van der Merwe. He's straight through. This is where Duan should score. Just brought down before the try line. Scotland 2 meters out from the Georgian try line. You feel like it has to come. Finn Russell lobbing over the top. Bounce pass. That looked like it was taken out. So the refs brought us back here. The Georgian player was through for all money. From what I first saw there, it did look like the player was tackled in the air. So we'll have to see what happens. Could have been Carl Steyn taken out in the air here. Oh, Finn Russell, really good. Taking it to the line. You're never sure when he's going to do it. Round the back of the Scottish player. Excellent offload from Finn Russell there on that play. Just wanting to see that. I thought potential tackle. Oh, you thought Duan van der Merwe, you thought was through for all money here. Break up the field. One man to beat. But the Georgian 15, Niniashvili doing excellent work. Long pass here by Russell. Yeah, I feel like he's taken out in the air there, ref. So it looks like Carl Steyn jumps to collect the ball, and then the Georgian player just taking his legs out. But I don't think there is a penalty for that. But yes, going back to David Niniashvili, number 15 for Georgia, has played a phenomenal game. Attacking, he's been great. And I think, you could say he pretty much slowed down Duan van der Merwe enough there for number 7, Mikael, to come across and make that tackle. So excellent defensive work by the Georgians. Okay, so much better from Scotland in that first half. The attack looking a bit good. Going to the comments. Let's have a look. Dead29 HDF. Holy smokes, tier 2 teams on fire today. Yeah, how long can we call them tier 2 teams for? When they start putting in performances like this, is it, are they really tier 2 teams? I know England lost. Great stuff. This is from Richard Corver. Has the Aussies played warm-up games and what happened, please? So Australia tomorrow probably plays one of their biggest games before the World Cup. They will play France. So tune into Forever Sports to watch Australia versus France. But here come the Scots, intercepted. The Georgians, oh my goodness, ref, let the boys play, please. Okay, sorry guys. That looked like the Georgians were away for all money there, and they were. But it is a Scottish penalty, I think, from the line out. So, Richard, so the Aussies haven't played this weekend. They will play tomorrow. So make sure you tune in for our Forever Sports coverage of the Australia-France game. It is going to be a good one. Con Chronic, yeah, absolutely. France versus Australia tomorrow. You are correct. Jinroy David, holy shoot, what's up, Scotland? I think that's what a lot of people are asking. Indeed, what is up, Scotland? Okay, so this penalty coming from a scrum. Yeah, the ref deeming there, so the Georgians play infraction. Okay, so where we are now, we are deep in Georgian territory on the 5 meter. The Scots have got a line out. They've set up to Moore. That Moore looks like it's been collapsed illegally, which it has. So they've got advantage. Scotland have got a free play here. They need to be smart. What can they do? Something exciting. Nope, they can't get the ball out there. Number 8 from Georgia collapsing the Moore. That is now the second Moore. Number 8 has collapsed, just out of interest. So again, the Scots will have a penalty right on the 5 meter. I reckon they go for the line again. Finn Russell agrees with me. We go to the line. Lionel, I can't tell if you mean you're behind me in terms of the feed that you're watching, or if you mean like you're physically behind me, because then that makes me a bit nervous. No problem, Richard Corber. Absolutely no problem. Is this a Scottish first team? Yeah, I reckon it's a pretty solid Scottish side. I don't think there's too many omissions here that we wouldn't rank as a Scottish first side. Pete, how's it? Peter here from SA, living in Germany this weekend. Is the weekend for the underdogs? Look at England and Fiji earlier today. Absolutely. No, I watched that game. It was a great one. But back to the action here. So Scotland have gone to the line out. They've dug the ball out there. Here it comes to the backs. Out the back we go. Finn Russell dinks it over the top. Excellent cross kick to Duan van der Merwe, who's in for Scotland. Scotland get themselves the first points of the game. You feel like it had to come. Eventually, that sustained pressure, but an excellent piece of footwork from Finn Russell, taking it to the line, looking up, and just off the side of his boot, and Duan van der Merwe collecting it and going in for the 5 points. So we currently have 6 points, Georgia, 5 points, Scotland, with the kick to come. I think Georgia will be quite upset with themselves there. Their lack of discipline, allowing the Scots to have multiple goes at that. Really excellent work here. No options. Finn Russell out to Duan van der Merwe with a cross kick. Really, really, really good work. Okay, power bite 92. Let's have a look. Scotland can't deal with a power game, whether it's South Africa or Ireland or even Georgia. Yeah, really interesting to note. We'll have to see how they do against those powerful sides. Then we've got, do you charge to become a channel member? Yes, there is a small channel member fee. Again, that small fee allows us to sort of bring in more people and expand our operations. So we really appreciate if you're able to join as a channel member, go check out the details. It would be fantastic. If you can't, please make sure then you are liking and subscribing to the channel. Like as many videos as you can. It lets the algorithm know that you guys are enjoying what you're seeing. Let's have a look. Thank you, Pete. I appreciate it. Doing my best here. So Finn Russell slots that one from the sideline, 7 points to 6. So the Scots go up. So Matthew Dixon's score prediction of 13-9, looking a bit more accurate here potentially, guys. Let me know in the chat there, what do you think the score prediction is going to be? It currently is 7 points to 6, Scotland with a try. Let's have a look. Daniel Dewar. I'm South African, born and raised in SA, but I'm half Scottish, and now I'm living in Scotland. A bit nervous about the first game of the World Cup, especially with all the Scottish flags everywhere. I can imagine, but I think, the way the Box played yesterday, if they can bring that performance, there's not many teams that can stand up to that. However, it all depends the team that shows up on the day. Let's have a look here. We've got the restart underway. So Georgians have kicked us deep into the Scottish territory, and Ben White looks to return with his own deep box kick. The Georgians now look to counter. Instead of kicking, they look to run. Down the left-hand side, there is some space, chipped back in field, but straight into the hands of a Scottish player who then hoofs the ball down into acres of space. No one at home for Georgia, but the ref decides to bring us back for something. Could have been a knock-on or potentially a penalty. We'll see what it's going to be. Jamie Ritchie seems to be having a chat with his team. Potentially out of play. Yes, so a line-out. Scottish line-out. Taken quickly off the top, out to the backs. And here they come. Flat to the line. Jordan defense. Strong, though. Solid tackle. Center of the field. Ben White looks to chip it over. Identifying that space. But Georgians are home. So deep from the kick from the 22. Doesn't quite find touch. Finn Russell collects. He's got Carl Steyn to his right. He looks good at right, looks to give it to Steyn. Steyn cuts back inside, looking for the offload, but no one is there. The Georgians are over the ball, but the Scots able to secure that ruck ball quite well. Out to the left, the forwards take it hard to the line, but again, met with solid Georgian defense. I've been really impressed with the Georgian defense, especially their tackling. Comes deep to the Scottish. They come all the way to the left-hand side. Nice skip pass out to Duan van der Merwe. Takes 2-3 Georgians to bring him down. Ben White brings us back to the right. Jamie Ritchie taking it into contact. Skinner. Scottish forwards now bash it up the field a bit. We're in the Georgian half, moving our way to the right-hand side of the field. So this is definitely much better from Scotland. I mean, this seems like a completely different Scottish side. I think, again, probably what happened in that change room was the coaching staff said, boys, can we just play our rugby? Here it comes, acres of space. Feel like it's going to have to be another score here. Duan van der Merwe cuts inside, brought down 2 meters before the Scottish tie line, pops it off the deck. Ben White, who does he feed to? Looks like he's over the line. One of the big props. Again, penalty advantage to the Scots. Here we go. Potentially, this is where the tides turn. They've got a free play here. Can they convert without having to go back for the penalty? What can the Georgian defense do? I've spoken so highly of them. Can they prevent the Scots from getting over the line again? I feel like it's going to be a big ask from Georgia. With 1 meter from the line, pick and go, over the line, try time to Scotland, and we'll see who comes up with it. Potentially, it is Gilchrist. It is not Gilchrist. It is, I think, the Scottish hooker. Dave Cherry. But good break there from Duan van der Merwe. Sorry, Rory Darge, number 7. There we go. Rory Darge, the try scorer. So having a look at the play here, the Scots, just the Georgians totally outnumbered as they move the ball wide. Duan van der Merwe cutting back inside, not able to finish himself, but good sustained pressure from Scotland. So 12 points to 6. The Scots have finally woken up and decided to join the game. Georgia are going to need to sort of, get ball in hand, actually. That's probably the thing as well. We didn't see Scotland with much ball in hand. All right, Lionel is joining us from China. Excellent work. Daniel Dewar, what are your thoughts on Moody's performance yesterday? I think the forwards were fantastic and allowed our backs to take the spotlight. Yeah, Daniel, I have to agree with you. I thought the box played really well. I thought, our forwards got the backs really good go-forward ball. I thought Moody's performance at 13 was excellent. I can't speak highly enough of him. I think he's doing excellent work. Okay, guys, so the conversion was successful here. We are now sitting at 14 points to 6. Scotland lead Georgia, and there is a suite of substitutions being made. So we're seeing lots of substitutions on the field as we start to get some fresh legs. So Rory Darge with the try for Scotland, Duan van der Merwe with the try for Scotland. Finn Russell has got both conversions, and it looks like Finn Russell has just come off the pitch. So we wait for confirmation of the substitutes. Georgia get us underway again, kicking deep into the Scottish half. Scotland take it out the 22. Ben White kicks us over the top. He's got to stay inside. He does. Georgians collect. And Matkava hoists the ball up and under. Timed that tackle well to the Georgian. Almost got in a position to collect it. But it was just a bit slow. Driven the Scots back, and an excellent Georgian penalty. Well, I say excellent. The Scots, unfortunately, just going off their feet there at the ruck, sealing off the ball, not allowing the Georgians to compete for it. But again, it's quite excellent work, because if you're not putting men into the ruck or being around the ruck and players do go off their feet and seal off, refs are less likely to notice that infringement. So the fact that the Georgian players are working hard to get to those rucks and make the ref aware, hey, we're here, this guy is stopping me from getting access to the ball, is really good work. Okay, so I think Georgia now, if they want to stay in this game, they're going to have to look to really convert this pressure into points. So they're going for the line, they're not going for the poles. Yeah, Finn Russell is indeed off the field. So Georgia now, an excellent attacking platform deep in the Scottish half. I think they will be absolutely frothing for a try. Where do they go? Go to the front. It is disrupted by Scotland. So really good work by the Scottish forwards there. And the Scots absolutely bolt that ball down the field. So deep back into the Georgian territory. Georgian 15 now looking to run again. Gets round one, but going sideways. Offloads. Now we're all the way to the right-hand touchline. It's got to stay in play. Oh, and a forward pass. It looked very flat to me. So unfortunately, Georgia there, just an unnecessary error, kind of giving Scotland free ball there. Powerbite 92 in the chat there saying future scoreline prediction. Achia Sneeman, several Scottish skulls for his mantelpiece. Scotland, several concussions. Yeah, I mean, Achia is just a specimen, isn't he? Absolutely. Ben Healy is on. He's quality, says Powerbite 92. Absolutely, I do think Ben Healy is indeed on. Yeah, Finn Russell is off. Ben Healy is on. So confirmation of that. Thank you, Powerbite. Excellent work. A little bit of teamwork here in the chat going, guys. So let's see what Ben can do. I think Finn will be happy with his performance. I think not happy with the Scotland performance at first half. Okay, and Georgia winning a short arm at the scrum there. We don't see too many of those. And they take it very quickly, tap and go. Running quite high into contact, though. You allow the Scottish forwards to get underneath you. You've got to get that ball down now. Is it available? Taken in? No. Okay, so Georgia now this is what we didn't see in the Fiji game earlier, right? We saw Fiji be class in their decision-making and execution most of the time, okay? 85% of the time. Georgia here had, an unforced error of a forward pass, Scotland scrum. They won the short arm, so the opportunity here potentially to just, start applying that pressure, tap and go, running into contact high, and Scotland forwards doing what they do, able to hold the players up. So excellent work. Let's have a look. Mamursabas, how's it? Bring the Score Africa on, we'll eat them alive. Yeah, Score Africa. No, too many familiar sounding names in the Scottish side. Looking forward to that first pool game. What's your predictions for our group? Oh, my word. Daniel Dewar asking really, really tough questions here. I think, so scrum penalty here to the Scots. I'm sure they'll look to move us down into the Georgian half. So Georgia just really struggling here. Daniel, predictions for the group? Yeah, I think you've got to look at Ireland and South Africa going 1 and 2. I think especially, the Scotland we're seeing here is not going to cut it against the South Africans we saw last night. I think I haven't seen the Italy-Ireland game going on now, but I can imagine the Irish are doing what Ireland does. So maybe you guys can let me know in the chat there what that scoreline is looking like and how the Irish are looking like. But I do think, potentially South Africa and Ireland top 1 and 2. In terms of those positions, not too sure myself. Having a look, Mamoru Sabah says Georgia can still win this. Absolutely, they can. I think, what they've got to do, though, is they've got to get more ball in hand. They've just given the Scots so much territory and possession. And unlike the first half, the Scottish are able to now turn this territory and possession and pressure into points, scoring 2 tries. And it looks like they're on track for a third as they go to the back of the line out and they maul towards the Georgian try line. That's used it once. The Georgians have done well to stop it. The Georgians have done excellently there, slowing that ball down. Is it presentable? It is. Somehow the Scots, by hook or by crook, have got that ball out. The Georgia defense needs to do what they've been doing in the first half and be as solid as they can be. The Scottish forwards looking to bash it up a bit. So we go to the right-hand side. Again, the Scottish players not making much go forward ball. Georgian defense looking good. Out we go. A bit of a wider pass. Brought down well by the Georgian defense. Strong line. Over the advantage line they go. 3 meters from the try line now. They come back to the left. So the Scots looking good here. Georgia need to effect a turnover somehow. Little pick and go on the corner, but not very far. You feel like it's coming. Strong drive for the line. The referee has seen the grounding. Scotland are in for their 3rd try. It is indeed Scotland's 8th man. Jack Dempsey comes up with the ball for Scotland. So currently 19 points to 6. Okay, so Georgia found wanting a bit, and I think it's a couple of things. I think it's the Scots have started to play their game plan. They've started to impose that pressure and they've hung onto the ball. They've built pressure through phases, and the Georgian defense has just not been able to keep up with it. Yeah, some interesting questions there from CK Gaming ZA. How many of the South African players are retiring after this World Cup? It does seem to be quite a few. We do have some old heads in there, some good experience. We've had a few retired before the World Cup as well. You've got to think in the next 4 years, who's going to be entertaining the next World Cup. Hugh Jones comes off the field. I think a good performance by him. I think he's made some really strong runs to the line. So Hugh Jones is a good performance. On comes Harris. Looks like he's ready to go. Powerbite 92. Ben Healy's a classic flyer for the big boot who can run a game. But this is only his 3rd cap. He's getting blooded fast, bring him up to speed. Okay, well, let's see what Ben Healy can do. Looking forward to how he conducts his team. CK Gaming, thank you for the score. Italy is leading Japan. Sorry, I don't know why I thought Ireland, Italy, but Italy's leading Japan 2016. Excellent. Thank you, CK Gaming ZA. Appreciate that. Italy not looking, Japan is looking really good, pushing Italy all the way. Yeah, the Japanese can never count them out. As South Africans, we know. Still hurts a bit. But thank you. I appreciate that in the chat there. Ireland are playing Samoa later. Yes, thank you, Conversation Station. Excellent. Thank you very much, guys. Looking forward to that Ireland-Samoa game. I mean, if you're an Irish supporter, you are absolutely not looking forward to that because, my goodness, you just don't. If there's one team you don't want to play before the World Cup, it has to be Samoa. Okay, we're back underway. The Georgians have ball in hand, kicking deep into the Scottish territory, but it's fielded well by the Scottish backs, who then return the kick. keeping the ball. No, it goes out of play. So the Georgians here will have an attacking platform from about the halfway. Power 92 saying Chris Harris is a great defender, but not much of an attacking threat. Yeah, Harris, I've seen him make some solid tackles. I mean, potentially now 21 points to 6. Potentially you want a good defender. You want your solid tackles. Sure, we got some Irish fans in the stream as well. Okay, off the top, the Georgians, again, here we go. So again, not what we saw from Fiji earlier, who were able to win their set phase. The Georgians line out, an opportunity now to get ball in hand, make the Scots defend for a bit, just going awry. And then, off to the Scots, kick it down to the Georgians, who then kick it back to the Scots. And now we kick it back to the Georgians. Massive kick. Almost out for a 50-22. Oh, excellent step, and a lovely run by the Georgian fullback, who gives a nice offload and takes it straight to the line. So we're still in Georgian territory now. It's better from Georgia. They just now need to look to make the Scots defend a bit. I think that's what was working in the first half. They had ball in hand. They were asking questions of the Scottish defence. We kick over the top. Looks like it's just been knocked on in the attempted kick collection of the box kick. Here come the Scots. They move it all the way to the left-hand side of the field. Harris taken down relatively easily. Messy ruck. Not sure what's happening, but the Scots seem to come away with it. This is better from the Georgians now. Better defense, more aggressive, meeting them, not letting the Scots get too much go-forward momentum. As I say that, here comes Scotland breaking through. Chris Harris through the middle. He's got a man on his left-hand side. He's got 3 to beat. Needed more support runners there. Brought down by the Georgians. Scotland somehow keep this ball. They've got numbers to the left. Dink over the top off the boot. Does it stay in play? It does not. Oh, very, very unfortunate. So, excellent little break there from Scotland through the centre of the field. Chris Harris looking quite threatening. So he heard you. He he heard you, Power by 92. He said, I'll show him, and made an excellent run up the centre. But I think that was Ollie Smith giving that offload. Really good work from the Scottish fullback, who has been involved in just about everything today. Definitely putting in a shift for man of the match. But you just felt like Harris needed some more support. I don't know if the kick over the top, if the cross kick was the correct call. I feel like you must have had 6 or 7 Scottish players on the left-hand side and maybe 2 or 3 Georgians. So you just think their simple hands or draw and pass gets you there. No, Scotland looking very much more like the Scottish team that we're used to. But I feel like, Georgia's still in the conversation. Going to be a tough ask for them to come back, but not impossible. So CK Gaming, Italy 25-16. I do understand the rules, but I do feel the ref is hurting the game with constant blowing, stop starting. Yeah, this is something there's been a lot of comments about, CK Gaming ZA, that, with the refs and especially the TMOs now with Hawkeye and all these interventions, it does feel a bit more stop-starty. But World Rugby are trying to put in things to speed up the play, speed up the game rather, such as the bunker, right? So we've seen this being used now where potentially there's a card infringement, and instead of deliberating, refs sort of say, okay, look, you're getting a yellow, it meets the yellow card threshold, but it's going off for review. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of fans who are frustrated by the stop-start nature, and players too. You get into a rhythm, you get into a routine, a bit of a groove, momentum, and then all of a sudden there's, stop, and you've got to rebuild. So, yeah, something World Rugby, I think, is looking to try and address is that speed of play. Okay, back to the game, guys. So 63 minutes done. Scotland 21, Georgia 6. Georgia yet to score points in the second half. We have a Georgia line out deep in Georgia territory. Number 21, you are so far offside from the Scotland side of points, but he retreats. Good exit by Georgia. And we do have some Georgian replacements, quite a few, in fact. Number 1. So pretty much 1 through 5 off for Georgia. 9 and 13. And I'll tell you who the replacements are now. But anyway, we are back off to it. Scotland charging up the centre of the field. Again, I can't, it'd be really interesting to see the possession stats because, my word, Georgia have not had the ball in hand at all the second half, but they've not done themselves any favours when they have had an opportunity to have the ball in hand. We then get a Georgian penalty for number 2, holding on. Or is that Dempsey, the try scorer for Scotland? One of the try scorers holding on to the ball. Yeah, number 8, Dempsey there holding on to the Georgians, saying, we'll take that, getting the penalty. Matkava will look to hopefully gain good territory advantage into the Scottish half, which he does quite nicely. I think just about to the 22. Absolutely, on the Scottish 22. Okay, so if ever there was a time that Georgia could hear me, this would be it. We want to see them keep ball in hand, put pressure on the Scottish defence, and cause them to make a mistake. Daniel Dewar saying he's fine. He can hear the Scottish supporters his side. Daniel tuning in from Scotland. Yeah, no, I'm sure they've got reason to celebrate now. And again, the Georgians overthrowing, giving that ball to Scotland. So not able to apply any sort of pressure that we saw in the first half. Really unfortunate because the Georgians were looking good. Here comes Scotland down the right-hand side. They get almost all the way to the wing. Really quick ball for the Scottish now. Here they come back to the left. Crossfield kick goes quite sideways, but Richie unable to collect the ball, who then decides to start tossing handbags with the player who challenged him in the air. Quite interesting from the captain. Surely you need cooler heads. Intercept by the Georgian player. Oh, ref, let them play, please. I just want to see a Georgian intercept. If he's brought us back for this scrap between Richie and not allowed play to carry on there, that is okay. So, I say this. The Georgian 14 did seem to take someone out in the air, which was Jamie Ritchie. So fair enough for Richie to get a bit wuss. But come on, dude, like you are the captain. You can't be initiating this. So number 14 there, Tabutsadze, goes for the ball and then loses it and seems to then bring Richie down quite dangerously. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But I think Richie's reaction gotta be calmer than that. Not great from 14. I think we definitely see this probably result in a card. Or no, just a penalty, says the ref. So the Scots have a penalty. They hoof it down. Yeah, probably the fair call. Potentially a card. Some great chat going on some great conversation going on in the chat, guys. I appreciate that. I'll be with you as soon as there's a break in play here. I don't want to miss anything because you feel like, the Scots have finally started to find their gear and potentially some nice play here. So we are once again, down deep in the Georgian territory. Again, this all sort of resulting from the Georgians not being able to keep their own set play. So we go to the back of the line out. The Scots set up a driving maul, which doesn't drive very far. Surely that's used at once, ref. Solid set for the Georgians. Right, out it comes to the backs. It goes. The right-hand side, big crash up the center of the field. Advantage, potentially the Georgians offside. So Georgia discipline, letting them down. Duan van der Merwe taking it up. Duan van der Merwe still on his feet, but stopped. Taking down eventually. Here come the Scots back to the left-hand side. The forwards, lovely little offload there. Going, driving to the line, over. Now, question is grounding. Surely we'll have a look at this. The ref hasn't got it. It's been worked back. Little dive for the line, and the ref, there it is, another Scottish try. And it is Kyle Steyn that comes away with it. Work by Steyn, but an excellent almost team try there. Scots applying lots of pressure. As I was saying before that Scottish lineout took place, it all sort of stemmed from the Georgian lineouts not being able to be secured and then just giving the ball back to Scotland and allowing them to do their thing. So, much better second half performance from Scotland. Really good work there. Dempsey doing well to spin another tackle, driving his feet. I thought he was over the line. He wasn't, just short. Excellent work by Georgia. They managed to squeeze that ball backwards. And then Kyle Steyn hitting the ball at pace over the line. Try time for Scotland. Currently 26 points to 6 with the kick to come. Richie loves a fight to get marched back 10 yards. A lot of referees. Yeah, no, absolutely. Richie, probably not one of the coolest heads on the field, but a great player is Jerry Richie. Okay, conversion was good. We are 28 points to 6, so potentially a scoreline. I think people would have expected more as opposed to what we saw in the first half, about 0 points to 6. Let's have a look. So yesterday saying SA shouldn't get too cocky. Absolutely yesterday. I'm with you 100%. I think you've got to respect every opponent that you come up against, and you can't take for granted any past performances. It's who shows up on the day. Right, here comes Scotland again, flying down the left-hand side. Lovely inside pass. Ollie Smith, that man, involved again, looking for the offload, but no one to give it to. Duan van der Merwe playing scrum half. However, it is a Georgian penalty for the Scottish players rolling, not allowing the Georgian poachers to get access to that ball. Okay, so Georgia, opportunity now to get the ball into a good territory position and keep some ball in hand. Rian asking the really important question in the chat, when are we seeing that mustache again? Whereas, well, if there is enough demand for it, Rian, I will shave the mustache back. I think for the World Cup, potentially what we can do is we'll have a mustache for the World Cup. But, you know, I got to give the fans what they want. So if there's enough demand for it, Rian, why not? Let's have a look. What else we got there? So 3-time world champion. How many do you have, mate? Let's see. I hear that Julius Malema might. Oh goodness. Okay, so we've got lots of conversation happening in the chat now. We got a short arm to the Georgian players for the Scottish players, closing the gap at lineout. I wonder if Georgia backed themselves for a scrum here. Nope, they're going to do a good old tap and go. Taking it up to the Scottish. All right, this would be good to see some sustained pressure and phase play from the Georgians. Scottish player feels like he's on the wrong side of the ruck there. But we go out. It's Georgian player hitting the ball at speed. It spills. It goes backwards, though. The Georgians retain possession. Just feel like there's no structure here. Very, very different. Tale of two halves. This Georgia were looking good, structured, but they do make a good, positive run up the center of the field. Out it comes a bit slow. The Scottish defense up quickly, shutting off any options outside. Scotland looking to slow that ball down as legally as they can. Here we go, going to the left. The Georgians flying around the left-hand side. Good, positive runs over the advantage line. Georgian forward sets the right side. We are 5 meters out from the Scottish line. Georgia looking good here. Feel like this is it. They have to. Oh, if he could just have gotten that last pass off, he was through for all money. But driven back by the Scottish defense, tons of Scottish players around it. You feel like potentially a turnover opportunity here. And absolutely, that's what they've done. To absorb that pressure excellently well. Penalty. It is great work from the Scottish centre, number 12, Tuapolutau. Does excellent work to make a fantastic tackle, driving the Georgian 15 back. And then swarmed by 4 Scottish players, not allowing that ball to come out at all. Really excellent work. Nate Dog 38 saying, dude, you got to bring back the mustache. It's Ireland's good luck charm. Why would I want to give Ireland any more good luck? If that's the case, that mustache is staying far away. I don't want the Irish to have any more luck than they do naturally as a nation. So Nate Dog 38, yeah, if that's the case, the stash is staying far away. Okay, so the Scots, absorbing a lot of pressure there. Probably the most positive bit of play we've seen from the Georgians, but again, unfortunate to be isolated in the tackle. So Scottish line out in the Georgian territory on the left-hand side. We go to the back. They're set to maul. Out it comes from Ferguson. Good solid run there by the backs. Scottish replacements starting to get involved. A little bit of scrappiness in the centre. Not sure what's happening, but we reset. Would be good to see Ben Healy. How can he start to, sort of put his mark on the game? We saw what Finn Russell can do. Here we go, Scotland down to the right-hand side. Georgia's defence looking strong, though. So here we come to the left. And again, from the base of the ruck. Yeah, not too threatening, but Scotland being able to hold on to that ball. Sustained phases of play. You don't want to score off first phase. Out it goes to the back. Here we go. We've got some space, potentially some mismatches. Lovely skip pass out to the right-hand side. Carl Steyn, I believe, with ball hand. That looked like a high tackle around the neck. Yeah, arm out for the advantage. Around the blind side we go. And the ref is going to call it there, I believe, for that high tackle on Carl Steyn. Didn't look like any degree of danger, just a tackle round the neck, around the shoulder neck. As Carl Steyn was cutting back in, that hand starting the chest, slipping up, and then to the back of the jersey. So looking worse than it was, but indeed worthy of a penalty. I don't think there'll be anything further than here. Power bites, yes, saying what I'm thinking. Scott Barrett should get a ban. I thought I was watching something completely different. I mean, Malcolm Marx was on the floor. He wasn't competing at that ruck at all. He wasn't needing to be cleared out. He was nowhere near the ball. And for me, it felt like Scott Barrett just went in and saw that and, I don't know, threw his shoulder at his head. So I'm not sure how that wasn't a straight red, and I'm not sure how it wasn't upgraded to a red. But anyway, that's probably some South African bias in there. You guys can let me know what you think in the chat. So Georgia giving Scotland a Mursa game, says Mamursa Bas. Absolutely. Scotland, I think, the first half, I wouldn't say a full game. I think Georgia sort of asked many questions of Scotland in the first half. I think the second half, the Scots have been totally dominant. I mean, here we see again, Scottish line out to the back, driving maul. They've taken it 3 meters from the try line. Out it comes the back line here. What can the Scots do? Long over the top pass, and unfortunately not being able to collect it by Duan van der Merwe. Just hasn't been his day today. Normally, like Duan is able to score from anywhere, but I think Ben Healy's pass there just a bit overcooked. I mean, crisis, what a pass! But it was just a bit too powerful. So Ben Healy showing what he can do, but in that case, just a bit too much. It'll be very interesting, CK Gaming ZA, if South Africa can indeed defend the World Cup. The wind does blow hardest at the top. Lots of teams will want to see South Africa lose. But likewise, lots of people want to see South Africa win. So it's going to be a fantastic World Cup. And we hope you guys will join us here on Forever Sports. We are going to France to bring you coverage from France, which is going to be absolutely epic. So we make sure you tune in for that. Here comes Scotland again. So they are 2 meters from the Georgian line. You feel like it's going to happen again. It feels a bit inevitable. And as things start to get exciting, my feed starts to go a bit broken up. Come on, Delta Wi-Fi. You can do it. The Scots pick and go around the sides. Georgian defense driving them back, doing really well, but it is a Scottish penalty. So the Georgian defense now, especially close to the try line, getting a bit scrappy. I would feel like they have to have a word with the ref. Or the ref, I feel like, would have to have a word with Georgia as a warning, because there have been multiple infringements quite close to the line here. But the Georgians blown up for offside. So the Scots will look to tap and go here from the 5 meter. So they're not going to back the line out more. No, man. Come now. No, you can't fake out the tap. Okay, the ref having a lovely conversation with the substitute hooker for Scotland. So taps, goes, takes it in himself, cleans out. 9 will be looking for quick ball. It isn't quick. It's quite slow. Releases the Scottish loose forwards. Takes it close to the line now, to the backs. Out the back. Here we go. Again, there it is. Lovely skip pass. And Duan van der Merwe finally gets the try. You can almost set your watch to Duan van der Merwe scoring a try in a Scottish game. But again, I believe it looked like the Scottish centre, number 12, Tulupatau there, giving a lovely skip pass over the top to Duan van der Merwe in for the try. So another Scottish try takes us to 33 points to 6. Scotland now well and truly look like they've got this one in the bag with 3 minutes to go. Really good work from the Scots there. Again, Georgia, unfortunately, tale of two halves here. Many teams see Duan van der Merwe as a weak link in defense. They target him, says Powerbite 92. Potentially, that's something we can look at. I mean, he is, such an attacking threat, something that teams will be well aware of, but potentially can, if we can get, an Arendse, Ches and Colby around one-on-one with him. I was really impressed with last night was Makazole Mapimpi's pace. Crisis. There was one point where he got the ball and just accelerated from nowhere. I thought he looked really good. Okay, Ben Healy's chance now to add to the Scottish total. Again, not from an easy position, around the left-hand side, but they'll appreciate that actually. Some pressure kicking from the left-hand side, and Ben Healy just draws it to the left-hand side, so not adding the extra 2 points. So 33 points to 6, with I believe 2 minutes to go. Daryl in the chat there saying Boks are going to demolish Scotland and bring them down to earth. I mean, yeah, Daryl, I would like to think so. I think if we put in a performance like we did last night, as I said earlier, there's not many teams that I think can hang with the Boks at that pace, at that intensity. CK Gaming ZA saying, what is your view on Sia recovering so quickly from an ACL injury? Many believe he was given illegal substances in recovery. Look, I mean, there's testing procedures in place. If World Rugby feels like that's something to go, I think it's a testament to the physio side and squad. I think in the fan forum, we were talking about just how excellent, that whole squad is. It's not just the 15 guys that start. It's not just the 23 players on the game day. It's not just the 33-man squad. It's the whole support staff allowing a team to perform their best. So, I mean, excellent work that they've done with Sia to get back to where he is currently. So really good work. I agree with Daryl. I don't think any illegal substances. I think it's just really good management from the physio and medical side. Okay, excellent. Thanks, Powerbytes. I appreciate you. Tui Pilotu. I'll get there eventually. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, guys, in the chat. Yeah, as I said, let me know with the pronunciations. Any feedback is appreciated. So it looks like the clock has gone into the red, and I believe the Scots have decided to kick it out. And ladies and gentlemen, that looks like that's the game. So quite an No, so we had a highlights package. You were still playing. So we got a Scottish line-out. Scots take it to the back of the line-out. I can't believe that they'll want to play too much longer, being so well. But they're going to have one more run. Screaming for the ball is Duan van der Merwe. But Ollie Smith, who, again, personally for me, I think he's played out of his socks today. He's been involved in absolutely everything. Takes it to the line. Bit messy there from Scotland. But they'll look to bring it back now to the right-hand side. Tuipolatu takes it in well. Looks a bit scrappy here. Kicked forward. Can't see if the ref's holding anything out. It's gone backwards. Very, very messy. You can imagine there goes a whistle. Eventually, knock on. The referee calls the game to an end. And it finishes 33 points to 6. Scotland victorious over Georgia. I think the Scottish fans and the Scotland team and the Scotland coaching staff will all breathe a big sigh of relief. That was, not their best first half ever. I think anyone will agree with that. I think the Georgians will be proud of their first half performance, but I think they'll be bitterly disappointed with the way their second half turned out. I think they were, sort of really exposed. Their defense was there, but not as strong as it was in the first half. I think they just didn't have ball in hand. They weren't able to mount pressure. But I do think the Scots eventually got their act together and started playing the rugby that we're used to Scotland seeing. Right, Ultimate Gamer saying, well, I'm Georgian. Well, Ultimate Gamer, I hope you enjoyed at least the first half and the coverage you have here on Forever Sports. I think it was, there's good takeaway points for the Georgia side there. I think there definitely were, weaknesses exposed in the Scotland side that I think Georgia did really well. They'll be very happy going into the halftime at 6-0. But, commanding performance in the second half by Scotland. CK Gaming ZA, well, the 30 points win almost came true. No, you're very correct. Just 3 points off that, so not a bad shout there at all from the predictions in the chat. LJ the man, Scotland to win by 30 points. I mean, LJ the man was almost the man today, and almost got that absolutely bang on. All right, guys. Well, I think that's all that I have to say about the game. Thank you so much for joining me, Wes, here on Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. Thank you to our partners over at Boyle Sports and Bitdefender. Congratulations to the Scotland side by winning against Georgia 33 points to 6. We hope you will come back here for our coverage later tonight of Ireland versus Samoa. I believe Rudy is going to lead you guys through that one. And then come back tomorrow for an excellent game of France versus Australia. I won't be with you guys tomorrow. I'm heading out into the Delta proper. So this is where the Wi-Fi goes absolutely nowhere. But I will be regularly trying to check for updates on the score and have a look and see if I can drop in and leave some comments of my own. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you, Power Bite. Take it easy. Have a lovely evening. And hoping to see you guys soon. All the best. And thank you very much.